YouTube, what is good? Welcome back to another video. And man, once again, shout out to y'all. Shout out to all my supporters, all my viewers. If you're watching this video right now, you clicked on from a post notification, I appreciate you a lot. It means a lot to me. But outside of that, if you're watching this video and you caught this video maybe a couple days after it came out, or even a couple hours after it dropped, if you're watching in general, I appreciate you a lot, man. It really means a lot to me. Makes me want to keep uploading. And yeah, thank you guys. But y'all already know what to do. Hit the like button. Go ahead and subscribe if you are new, and turn on post noties. You do not want to miss out on any content. We got a lot of content coming out, a lot of builds coming out, build reviews. And once again, 2K26 is literally right around the corner, bro. It's right around the corner, and I'm excited. I can't wait for a new game. I've been enjoying 2K25, even though it is very irritating sometimes. I've been enjoying it. I've been having my fun. I found a way for me to have fun on this game, and I think that's what's important. So yeah, but I am most definitely ready for a new one. But that's enough talk about 2K26. We are back today with another build, one I created myself, one I know y'all are going to like, one that's pretty fire. It's inspired by Kevin Durant, especially now that he's on the Rockets. Had to get one of these out, so let's go ahead and hop right into it. So up first, we got position, small forward, height 6'10". Yeah, KD is probably 7 foot, but I went 6'10" for this build. Weight 214 pounds, wingspan 6'10" wingspan. Also, the build is a two-way catch and shoot ace. Now, hear me out. I get it. Build name, not necessarily Kevin Durant, but at the same time, it kind of is. But the attributes, y'all gonna love the attributes, bro. I promise you, y'all gonna love the attributes. So let's go ahead and click continue and hop right into them. Up first, we got 85 close shot. I upgraded this myself. I wanted to have this up pretty high so he could play below the rim. And just before I even go any further, the build is inspired by Kevin Durant. It is not supposed to be Kevin Durant exactly, but I was trying to make a KD type of build. So keep that in mind. Y'all know I will whenever we get to the end of the video and I'm grading the build. But also, I'm gonna get this out of the way now. I am not telling you to make this build exactly how I make it. You can take this build, tweak it to your liking, make it fit your play style, and create a build that you like. That's what this is for. So just remember that as you're watching the video. So we got 85 close shot. Driving layup, I went with the 80. I wish this could be a little bit higher, but I like the 80 still, especially on a 6'10" build. Driving dunk, we went with the 89. Why did I go 89? I wanted to make sure I got pro 2 foot contact dunks and pro 1 foot contact dunks. That's why I was going forward with this. Driving dunk, it is going to get you silver posterizer. You're going to be able to boom on people. You're going to be able to dunk at a very high rate. I like that about this build. Like I said, I was trying to make KD, but I was kind of souping the build up a little bit. Standing dunk, you're going to get a 59. This upgraded with driving dunk. I didn't upgrade it myself. Now, post control, I went with the 90. Now, the reason I went 90 post control, KD doesn't play with his back to the basket all the time, but he definitely can and definitely will if he needs to. And now that he's a bit older, I feel like he's playing more with his back to the basket, you know, out of the post a little bit. I'm not saying he's backing people down, but he is getting his back to the basket, shooting over people, shooting post fades over people. So I wanted to make sure this build had post fade phenom. We went with the 90 post control. Now, why did I go 90? Because we're going to get post fade phenom to legend. Now, that's all for the finishing. Let's go to the shooting. So mid-range, we got 91 mid-range. Y'all already know I like to make my builds cat breaker friendly. I'm gonna take 3 cat breakers and put them on mid-range. This is going to be able to get us post fade phenom on legend. So the build will be post fading like crazy. It's going to be knocking everything down. But also on top of that, the 94 mid-range will get us gold deadeye, and it's also going to get us Hall of Fame set shot specialist. Going to make this build very, very good. The build can already shoot at a high clip, but when you add the Hall of Fame set shot specialist and then you got the legend post fade phenom, going to make this build very, very, very good. Now on to the 3-point shot. We got an 86 3-pointer. I wanted to make sure this build got limitless range, but on top of that, I wanted to make sure that the 3-point attribute rating itself was on the higher end. I wanted the build to be able to knock down threes at a very high clip, because that's what Kevin Durant does. He knocks threes down at a very high clip. He's a 7-footer who could do everything Steph Curry can do, and it's crazy. Free throw, we got a 71. Couldn't upgrade it, had to sacrifice something. This is what it was. Sorry for the rec people. But once again, you do not have to make this build exactly how I make it. You can take this build template, tweak it to your liking, and make your own build that fits your playstyle. So if you want to take some stuff off of other places and put it on free throw, be my guest. This is how I wanted to make the build. Now on to the playmaking. We got 71 pass accuracy. KD be throwing dimes here and there, but he's not some super playmaker. So I wanted to make sure we at least just got silver diamond. That's why I went with the 71 pass accuracy. You're going to be able to pass the ball around with this with no problem. That's for sure. Ball handle, I went with 75. Originally, I was going with like 78, but I switched to 75. And it sucks because KD's ball handle is probably way better than 75. But I switched to 75 because you get all the animations that you would get at 78 at 75. So why waste those attribute points? You're not getting any badges and you're not getting any new animations. So I would drop down to 75 ball handle in this build. Speed with ball, went with the 70. You need 68 to get lightning launch. Wanted to make sure I had that. And I feel like when you hit the next like 5s threshold in attributes, it just makes what you're trying to do a little bit better. I really feel that way. So that's why I went with the 70 instead of 68. And I had extra points, so why not try to make the build as fast as possible? That is all for playmaking. On to the defense. Now, KD, later in his career, hasn't really been playing defense, but I wanted to make sure this build had defense, bro. That's why I said it's not necessarily exactly KD, but it's a KD type of build, and I souped them up a little bit. So interior defense, we got a 74. Y'all are going to notice anytime I make a build, 74 is going to be a staple unless you're like a big. Like unless you're a center or power forward, I'm probably going to stick with 74 interior on every single build, just because if it works on my 6'3" guard against 7-footers, it's obviously going to work with the 6'10" with the 6'10" wingspan against 7-footers. So that's why I go with the 74 interior defense. Perimeter defense, we got 80. I wanted this build to be able to play some defense, bro, because at the end of the day, this build could still be a primary ball handler in the right game modes. So I wanted to make sure this build had perimeter defense so it could hold its own. Steal, you get a 50. Y'all know me, I'm not big on steal. I had to sacrifice it today. I had to give it up, and we ended up sitting on the 50 steal because it upgraded with perimeter defense. Last but not least in the defense section, we got block. I went with 68 block. Now, KD has been playing a little bit more defense, but he's not chase down worthy. Like, he's not getting chase down blocks like crazy. But I wanted to soup this build up, make sure it could play defense. We got the 80 perimeter. We got the 74 interior. Had to throw block or steal. I chose block this time. Wanted to make sure I got the most reliable badge on the game. High flying denier. At bronze, it's literally the best badge in the game, bro. I don't care what anyone says. So, had to make sure I have it. On to the rebounding. We got 50 offensive rebound and then 70 defensive rebound. I wanted to make sure this build could get boards, and it doesn't need to be like a crazy rebounder, but I wanted to make sure it at least got animations. And on top of that, we got to get the box out beast to go with it. I had the extra points, so we were able to get defensive rebound up to 70 to get us box out beast on silver and still give us rebound chaser. So I like that a lot about this build. KD does grab boards, so had to make sure we got it. Last but not least, we got the physicals. I went with 80 speed because it was the max you could get on this 6'10" with this weight. And I feel like 80 speed is still really close to KD, so I'm not mad at that at all. I'm actually okay with that. I think that's perfect. Agility, we went with 75. Now, KD probably a little bit more agile than that, probably 80 also, but 75 isn't bad. You got to remember on this game, you're 6'10" with 80 speed and 75 agility. You're going to be moving around the court like crazy. Like, there are forwards on this game that don't even have those stats. So just remember that. You're 6'10", the build will be able to move. Strength, I went with the 75. I had extra points. I originally was going 73, but we bumped it up to 75. Wanted to make sure that I could get physical finisher on silver, and also wanted to make sure that I could get immovable enforcer and strong candle. So that's why I was going 73. Wanted to get strong candle on gold. The badge helps out a lot. Like, you really don't notice it sometimes because it's so subtle, but then there are times where like it's so blatantly obvious that this badge is helping you. So wanted to make sure we got it. Last but not least, we got the vertical at 78. You needed 78 vertical to get pro contacts off of 1. So with the 89 drive and dunk and the 78 vertical, that got us that. We still get posterizer, high flying denier, and then you get Gold Aerial Wizard, the build will be booming on people, bro. Like, the build is going to be a problem. So I like the build a lot. I think the build is fire. Let's hit continue and see what shades we get. And you're going to get shades of Rudy Gay, KD type of build, Brandon Ingram, another KD archetype, and then you get Braun, which I thought was pretty crazy. But I think, like, low-key, like, the ball handling and the defense is kind of why they threw Braun in there, because it's shades of LeBron. But you have built a two-way catch and shoot ace. I think it's a fire build. I think it's also a really good build name for KD. Even though he's not catch and shoot, that's kind of what his archetype is. So I do like the build name. I think the build itself is fire. I think it's a really, really good build. You guys let me know in the comment section how you feel about the build. Is it fire? Is it trash? If it's trash, tell me why it's trash. Don't just say it's trash or I'm gonna ignore you. And with that being said, grading this build from A to F on it being KD, I'm gonna give it an A. The reason I'm giving it an A is because the build is very close to KD in my opinion. Now, the builder does limit it to not exactly be able to make KD, but the build will still perform and be able to play like KD on this game. So I do like that. And the only thing is I souped up a couple things, but it really wasn't that much. So I do like that a lot about this build. Now, grading this build from A to F on being able to use it in all game modes, A+. You can take it to the ones. You got finishing, you got shooting, you can handle the ball, you can play defense, you can rebound. You can take it to the twos, you could play the 1 on the twos court with a very big lineup, or you could play the 2 with a smaller lineup. Now, getting boards is going to be pretty hard, but you still can do it. Now, you can also take it to the 3s, and you can play the 1, the 2, or the 3. You can have a really big lineup at the 1, you could be a secondary ball handler at the 2, and then you could play the 3 with the small ball lineup. Going to be hard to get boards, but you definitely can do it, and it's going to work out because you'll be ISO in the big, and the big usually doesn't have perimeter defense. Last but not least, we got 5s. You could definitely take it to the 5s court. You can play the 2, the 3, or even the 4. If you got a big that can really get boards, it's going to be hard to play with this build at the 5. It can make it with a small ball lineup, but it's going to be extremely hard. So I am going to go A+ because you can use this build in every game mode with no problem. But that is all I got for y'all today, man. If y'all made it this far into the video, I appreciate you a lot. If you are new, please hit that subscribe button. If you haven't already, hit that like button. It goes a long way. Helps me out a lot. I appreciate you all. Make sure you got post noties on. You don't want to miss any content. We got a lot of content coming out, so just be on the lookout. And like I said, that's all I got for y'all today. I hope y'all enjoyed. I love you all. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.